Hey, I'm Myers. It's been a while since I've done a video. I apologize for that. Um, just had a lot of stuff, personal stuff going on. As you guys know, I started these videos in reaction to my daughter dying in February, to just keep myself busy where I, you know, I don't have time to get my own head and just stay busy and you know yeah. So a month or so ago, my wife, uh, there was a hearing for her daughter's death uh, out in Virginia that my wife went to, and like, it was a weird deal because uh, we we were doing really well with healing and starting to feel better, and not not glossing over it or anything, but just trying to make sense of life and move forward and all that sort of stuff. And but like, this hearing was coming up last month, and like, the closer it got, the more. And I didn't realize it in the beginning, but the closer it got to happening, the more angsty I got, and I couldn't figure out why. And finally, it dawned on me: oh, it's this fucking hearing coming up, and you know, so like, we went out to Virginia after our daughter died and cleaned out her apartment, and we met with the detective involved. And this guy was a transplant from NYPD homicide, and he'd been working. I think he said he'd been working with the Virginia Beach Police Department for 8 years in the homicide division, and so I trust this guy's opinion. I think this guy. I would assume somebody from NYPD Homicide Division, and even Virginia Beach is not exactly a small town. I'm sure this guy's seen some shit, and he told my wife and I, upon concluding my investigation, everything here indicates a very tragic accident. Okay, yeah, I accept that. So the thing is, the state of Virginia is wanting to charge our daughter's girlfriend with manslaughter, and that's what the hearing was about. And which is against our wishes. My wife and I have both written letters to the judge, and for the defense attorney, on behalf of our daughter's girlfriend, that we don't. It's an accident. What's this hearing, or this trial? It's just refreshing all the anguish that we felt with our daughter dying, and it's not helping us. We don't want it. It was an accident. If if you throw our daughter's girlfriend in prison, how's that going to help anybody? How's it? The taxpayers of the state of Virginia who are going to pay for the incarceration, how's that going to benefit them? This is a mad dog killer. This was an accident. If you throw her in prison, how's it going to bring my daughter back? You don't have a fucking answer on that. I don't agree with this. So it's been stressful with hearings and whatever, and so my wife got back from the hearing stuff, and and it's been really stressful on that end. And then like our old dog Sage, who Sage has been the best dog I've ever had, and she was amazing. And we got her like the third week of January of 2009, and we've had her ever since. And think about that, 2009. That's been a long time. When we got her, they figured she was like 6 months to a year old. At that point, we got her from the Humane Society in Sioux City, and that dog was amazing. She was funny. Oh my God, that dog! Like she, she was so upper Midwestern that she was passive aggressive, like an upper Midwestern person is. Like you'd be eating and she'd put her paw on you, and hey, not to disturb you, enjoy your meal, but I just want to remind you that I'm here. And I mean, she was so funny, and like she was part beagle, like she was a German Shepherd Beagle, which is a really weird mix, but the beagle part of her, she was very, very vocal and would talk to me, and like I'd come home from work and she'd go woo 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 woo, and like she'd come in from going outside and woo at me, and she was a funny fucking dog. And one Saturday a few weeks ago, she I believe she had a stroke, and by the time we got her to the vet, her head was down and she was drooling from foaming at the mouth, and she I believe she had a stroke, and we made the decision to have her put down because I don't know if she would have even made it through the day at that point, but like I love that dog so much I didn't want to see her suffer, and and so that was hard, this year my wife had a Yorkie that we had to have put down on my birthday. That dog was 15 years old also. She had a tumor in her, and when we had her at the vet last fall, the vet said, there's nothing we can do. This tumor's so big that, if we tried surgery, I don't think it's going to be successful. And, all you can do is take this dog home and love it, and you will know when it's time to do something different. And we did that, and and she let us know when she was suffering too much that that's when we made our decision to have her put down. When like her quality of life just wasn't there. She was coughing, like this tumor in her abdomen was pressing against her lungs, and she wasn't getting enough air to breathe, so she was coughing, and it just the dog was suffering. So we did the humane thing, and so I mean, this has been a fucking shitty year this year. I lost a kid and 2 dogs, but anyways, 2 weeks ago we went to a shelter. It was like 10 days ago. We went to a shelter down in Spencer, Iowa, and didn't know what we'd find. Didn't know if we would find anything, but at the door, this little shit met us at the door. He was just roaming free. This big killer here, his name's Ollie. Ollie's a 10-year-old Yorkie who, his story was he was living with an old woman who had a stroke or something, and had to go in a nursing home, couldn't take care of him anymore. So he got placed at the shelter, and Ollie, I mean, he looks like a scruffy teddy bear, and he's soft, and he's funny, and he follows us around, and he's, great. Adopted him, and Then my day job, I do logistics for a soybean plant, and right now we're in harvest mode where we're getting a lot of soybeans coming in to the plant, and a big part of my job is dealing with the railroad, and I'm having a lot of struggles with dealing with the railroad. Service is just abysmal. I've worked long enough in several different several different jobs in the transportation logistics industry, where I can tell you one thing, that management of places can do one of two things with their employees. They can either set their employees up for success or set them up for failure, and the railroad is setting their employees up for failure. The railroad wants to do everything with a skeleton crew, and just not give the resources and the time allowances to. My facility is serviced out of Mankato, Minnesota, and right now in Mankato there's 700 to 800 cars a day going through that yard, and they only have the manpower to be able to switch 150 to 200 cars a day, and so yeah, the railroad's behind, and and it's because they're not giving their crews, they're not giving their boots on the ground the resources they need to be successful, and that I have no qualms with the local guys who are servicing me or whatever. It's is upper management out of Omaha that they don't see how a lot of times what looks good on paper doesn't work out in reality, and I've seen that a lot of. I'm a big believer in it's okay to maybe try new things, but generally the reason why people do what they do is because that's what works, and so if you've got a proven method that it takes X amount of guys, X amount of crew to do X, Y, and Z, and then you want to cut that back because, well, those same guys could handle 3 times as much work. No, they can't. It's a huge misnomer. You hear on the news all the time about unemployment, or not unemployment, productivity has gone up. Productivity has gone up month after month after month for the past 45 fucking years. Productivity has gone up, and why? Well, it's because you're expecting your fucking employees to do more. And we're at a breaking point now where we're dumping so much shit on the average hourly employee or whatever that they just can't do it. I worked for a fucking outfit years ago down in the Sioux City area. This is a cookie factory that makes Girl Scout cookies, and first of all, this outfit lied to the union. Us guys in the warehouse, we were Teamster, and the rest of the operation was covered under the Bakers Union. But they lied to the Teamsters during contract negotiation. Told them, we'll only ever need to run 3 lines on Saturdays, so you won't need more than 3 guys scheduled on Saturdays. Okay, so that's what the Teamsters agreed to in their contract. Well, they get running 7-8 lines, production lines, which means you need more guys in the warehouse on Saturdays. Well, the way it's staffed or whatever, they were staffed by contract by what the company told the union when they negotiated the contract. So what they would do is they'd have a sign-up sheet if somebody wanted overtime. And so, like, we were already working 4 12-hour shifts. And, the overtime would be a full 12-hour shift. And, so if nobody would sign up for that, volunteer for that overtime, then they'd force it on the guys with lower seniority, and so guys with lower seniority got fucked every fucking weekend. You couldn't have a fucking life, and my wife's niece was getting married outside of Council Bluffs, Iowa, and I knew about this months in advance, and and I was scheduled to have that Saturday off, and I told my wife, yeah, I could go to that wedding with you, and but at 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon, they come to me and said, nobody signed the sign-up sheet, so you're forced in, low seniority, you're forced in on Saturday. I'm like, no, I can't, I got a family obligation, and I ended up calling in that day, and they're like, well, we're giving you a point. It's like, fine, give me the fucking point, I need to have a life. And I said something about to my manager about, you can't plan, I mean, I had plans, you can't plan. And he's like, don't make plans. Really? Don't make plans? That's your fucking solution? Get the fuck out of here. That's piss poor fucking management. What happened to that job, why I'm not there now, is they were short 5 guys on the night shift. Like, I'd worked there long enough. They got 2 shifts, 12-hour shift from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. on the nights, and then 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on the days. I worked there long enough. I had enough seniority. I got on the day shift. And the manager come around and he said to me, well, we're putting you back on nights. And I'd been on the day shift for well over a year. And he says, we're putting you back on nights. I'm like, you can't do that. At this point, I had like a bid job on the day shift. And I had enough seniority. I got this bid job on the day shift. And I'm like, you can't do that. And he's like, well, yeah, we can, because contract says in a work slowdown or shutdown, senior guys could save their jobs by taking a less desirable shift, and and I'm like, there ain't no slowdown or work stoppage or slowdown, you haven't lost contracts. We're busier than shit. He's like, yeah, I know, but we're eliminating your day shift position to force you back on the nights. I mean, this was such a chicken shit fucking deal that, so I said to him, you think it's hard hiring 5 people, try hiring 6, sayonara. And I walked. And they went to the guy with the next lowest seniority, and they said, we need to put you back on night shift. He said, well, what did Ryan Myers tell you? Well, he quit. He don't work here anymore because he didn't want to go back to night shift. And this guy said, well, if you think that sucks, try hiring 7 people. I'm out of here. These companies, they fucking bitch about how they can't hire good workers and, good help or whatever. But they never take into consideration, this deal with this railroad, they pay really fucking good. They do. And they have really good benefits, but they fuck their employees around so fucking bad. And then they're like scratching their heads. Gee, wonder why we have such bad turnover. Why can't we keep good help? Well, you fuck people like the guy I deal with, on the railroad up there. He's got guys ready to quit him, and I think this guy's burning out and ready to quit himself. He's a good guy. He's been with the railroad a long time, But the thing is, the fucking the management of this railroad has painted this guy into a corner and just thrown him to the fucking wolves, let him fend for himself, and they're not giving him any resources. You know, that's a failure of management. It's not a failure of this guy. It's not a failure of anybody on his fucking crew. It's a failure of the management. But the management will never see that. You know, so, so I've been busy with that stuff. And, that's why I haven't made any videos for a while. So, I don't know. Sorry, I'm a grumpy old fucker. Yeah. Thanks for watching.